Hello, my name is Donna Gray. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from the Northern Rivers area in New South Wales, Australia. I wanted to bring you a super beautiful Christmas card using the Frosted Foliage bundle. Now the Frosted Foliage bundle, it comes with framelits. So we have some framelits inside here. There's one missing because I've been using it to actually create this card. So it's got gorgeous little snowflakes. It's got this beautiful frame. It also has this insert that you can cut out, and it also has some foliage pieces, but I've actually got them over at my Big Shot machine at the moment. But it's actually a beautiful bundle, absolutely stunning, and this is going to be the star of the show today. So I'm going to do some heat embossing. So if you're new to crafting and you haven't seen heat embossing before, you are going to be wowed by this today. So what I'm actually going to do is I've got some Blackberry Bliss, which is one of my favorite colored cardstocks, and for Christmas it is really a lovely color to use for a change, for something different. So I'm just going to bring in a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. This is a little pillow that's filled with powder, as you can see, and I'm just going to go over my entire piece of Blackberry Bliss. Now this is a layer for the front. It's actually cut at 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to use Versamark ink. Now our Versamark ink is a clear watermark ink, and it's a sticky clear ink that embossing powder sticks to. So I'm going to ink up my stamp of all the snowflakes, and I'm randomly going to stamp around the edge here. Now you won't be able to see what I'm doing. It just leaves, I'll try and pick that up so you can see maybe in the light. I'm not sure whether you can see the watermark that it leaves. So what's actually going to happen, and it takes a while, that stays quite sticky for a while, so you can take your time in stamping around. So I'm randomly stamping on the corners of my cardstock. Because I want to do all this embossing at once. Okay, so the corners, and then I'm going to turn the stamp around. See how it has that little hump? I'm going to do that in the middle just here. So there, and on the top side, I'll turn it around that way and stamp it just in there. Okay, so I've got that all done. I'm also going to take a scrap piece of our Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment the same way. So I'm going to move that up. I'm going to use my embossing buddy again. And I'm probably out of the picture there, better move it up a bit. And I'm going to ink that sentiment up. And I'm going to stamp that down over here, and we'll cut that out with an oval framelit. Okay, so now we have all that stamping done. Now we're going to sprinkle over our gold embossing powder. So I'm going to sprinkle it onto the words here first. So you're going to see how it sticks to that Versamark ink. Okay, so tap it off, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so then we're going to tip it all over this piece here. And I'm just going to grab my tweezers to pick up the corner here. And yes, you're probably going to go, this is going to end up everywhere, but I did do this before. And so you just let it fall down over, and I did smudge it a little bit there, but that's okay. You just let it fall down over your cardstock. Okay, so you can see we've got that nicely covered. So then with our embossing powder, just with our scrap piece of paper, we're going to bring it back in and tip it back into the jar. Okay, and pop the lid on. All right. So now I'm going to bring in the heat tool, and this will be a little bit loud. Now I generally hold my heat gun underneath. And you'll see when it changes color. Now the reason that I hold it underneath is the heat of the heat gun actually warps your cardstock, and I like it to be curled under rather than curled up. So then when you're actually sticking it to your project, it's not going to buckle up and curl up. You can do it from the top, totally up to you how you want to do it, but see how that is absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to grab this other piece with my tweezers, so like so I don't get my fingers burnt, and then we're just going to hold the heat gun underneath again. Sorry, I'm wobbling that camera around a bit. Hold the heat gun under that again, and you'll see it turn. And I can tell you, if you haven't heat embossed before, you will absolutely love the effect. See that just turning into a beautiful, rich, bright gold. And you don't have to wave the heat gun around, just hold it and just go with it. You can see it turning, you just slowly move with it until you have all of it melted into that Versamark ink. This to me is the bomb of card making. I think it's absolutely the most fun thing to do, and especially at Christmas time. I think Christmas time is gorgeous. We've got these beautiful snowflakes. Gold and silver embossing powder are absolutely key staples in my craft room at Christmas time. Okay, so this is going to be the longest part of it, and I have done some other things to make this video a little bit shorter for you. Okay, so we have that beautifully embossed. So we've got our sentiment embossed, we've got our layer for the front embossed. Now when that cools down, it will smooth out, but I do have a trick when we're embossing how to adhere our layers. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, I have these layering ovals that we have. So I have a layering oval there to cut out my sentiment, and I've also got some gorgeous glimmer paper, and I've actually pre-cut one ahead, but with the scallop. So it'll end up layering up really, really nicely. Okay, so, and through the magic of videos, look at that, we have one already pre-cut and ready to go. Okay, so now I've also cut out some other pieces here too. So as I said, in this gorgeous frosted foliage, we have these beautiful foliage frames, dies that we have. So I've cut 2 out in the gold, and it's awesome, this frame, because you just put it on once and you get these 2 pieces, and 2 out in vellum. So I have that. I've also got some of the beautiful gold shimmer ribbon that is available in our Christmas time is here suite. So if you're watching this in October, it is not available to customers until the 1st of November, this beautiful suite. So this is a little bit of a teaser that you get to see some of this ribbon before you can actually get your hands on it. But you can, there is a twist, you can get your hands on it if you decided to join my team. You can actually pop it into your starter kit and you can order it right now. So that's one of the perks of us being demonstrators, is that we get to pre-order things really, really early. So I'm going to pop a bit of this gorgeous gold shimmer ribbon across the middle here. So I'm going to cut that at the length that I need. I'm then going to grab my double-sided tape, and I'm going to flip this over and pop some double-sided tape on the back. If I can find the end of my double-sided tape. So just in the middle, because this is what we're going to stick the ends of our ribbon into to wrap it around our card layer. Okay, so just like so. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to get the backing off that. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that ribbon into that and across the front of my card, get it nice and even, and just pop it into that. So that's how simple it is to get some ribbon onto your card by using that double-sided tape. It's a trick that I've been using for many, many years with my crafting. Okay, so now I'm just going to sit these on and arrange how I think I want it to look. So this is going to look gorgeous like this. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to have the larger foliage coming down through the bottom because I've got a little bit more space there. And I want those to actually wrap in around. So I want to pop, I'm just going to, with these, pop them in like that, okay? So that they're sort of overlapping on each other, and that can probably sit just down through there. So this is what I do. I step it out, look at where I think it needs to sit and where I think I want to put it before I stick anything down, because once it's stuck down, it's stuck down. Okay, so that and one of these pieces up through here I think is super cute. Maybe down a little bit through there. I think that looks cute, and then I think I want to pop a bow over here. So I think I'm about ready to layer all that up. So what I'll do is, with dimensionals, I'll pop some dimensionals on the back of my sentiment layer and pop it onto my gold glimmer scalloped oval. Dimensionals are awesome to add that wow factor to your card. So just in the middle there like that. Get it a little bit more even. So like that. Okay. And I'm going to pop another couple of dimensionals on the back. I'm going to pop them the top and the bottom of this layer, of this oval, so that it will straddle my ribbon. Okay, so like so. So I'm just going to pop that on now, and then I will, with glue dots, pop my foliage in underneath. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that over towards the right-hand side. Okay, so I've got room for my bow over here. So then I'm just going to grab my glue dots, which have gone missing on my table, but that's okay. We will improvise. Cannot find the glue dots. We will improvise, and we will use some liquid Tombow. Okay, so I'm just going to pop some liquid Tombow on the back, just on that bottom part of the foliage, and then I can sit that in underneath that. So because I've got my dimensionals there, I can just slide that in, and that's quite nice there. Pop a little bit on my vellum one. You only need a tiny little bit just to adhere it to your project. Okay, I'm going to lift that, and I'm going to pop that in like so. Okay, these two, I'm actually going to do them together because I like the way they're wrapped around each other. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the bottoms of those. There. Okay, and then we're just going to lift that up and tuck them in under. Just like so. Awesome. Okay, and I like the way that they're popping up off the front. It makes it look like real foliage, because real foliage tends to sit up that way. That looks super cute. Okay, spread them out a little bit. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to tie a bow out of our beautiful gold ribbon. So one loop around, not twisting the ribbon, and form another loop and pop it through. Then just rearrange the size of your loops when you get it how you want it. You pull all four, so the 2 loops and the bottom pieces as well, and that way it makes those gorgeous pieces lay down. Okay, sort of hang down, I mean. So just like that. Cute. Okay, so I'm going to pop that bow on, and I'm going to use, I want that just to sit just in there. So I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape for that bow to sit in. I find if I use the double-sided tape, they sit really well, and I used to use glue dots, and I've just found that the double-sided tape just lets your bow sit a lot nicer. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop that onto my cardstock underneath that scallop there. With my good old pokey tool, grab the end off it, if I can. Flick the end up, like that. And in goes my bow, exactly where I want it. So that's looking super, super cute. So I've got a very vanilla piece of cardstock that I'm going to use for the inside. I've got my base here of Blackberry Bliss. Now my base is cut at 5 3/4 inches by 8 inches, and when I fold it in half, that gives me a card front size of 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. I'm going to grab my bone folder and crease that nicely with my bone folder. Okay, so I'm actually going to lay that nice and flat. So I'm actually going to use, as I said, my trick with when I've embossed is to use double-sided tape to adhere that layer onto the front of your card. Because it's actually bowed a little bit from the heat of the heat gun, you need a good strong adhesive that's going to make it sit really nice and flat. So anytime that I've heat embossed, anytime that I've dry embossed with an embossing folder, this is my go-to. Now, I do not stick layers on normally with double-sided tape because you have to line it up really, really well because you get one go at it. When you put it down, it's there and it's stuck. I always use my liquid Tombow so I have that wiggle room, but in circumstances like this with heat embossing, I tend to use the double-sided tape. So now I'll take all that backing off with my pokey tool once again. And if you have trouble with your double-sided tape trying to get the backings off, sometimes it's just because it's not adhered to the cardstock properly. So if you're having trouble flicking off that backing paper, just rub over it again with your finger so that it adheres to your cardstock a little bit better, and then you'll see there, and then you'll be able to flip it up. So it's just that it hasn't quite glued to your cardstock properly. Okay, so now we're going to bring in that layer, and we're going to stand up above and get it looking really, really even. Nice even border all the way around. Pop the top on and down to the bottom, like so. Okay, and press that down nice, and you'll find that that will sit really nice and flat because you've used the double-sided tape. So now we're going to do the inside. So for the inside, I'm actually going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to use some Blackberry Bliss ink instead of the gold. And I'm just going to bring in a scrap piece of paper again, even though it's got embossing on it, it's okay, because I want to be able to stamp off a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to, with that snowflake, pop some snowflakes in the corner. So just like that, I'm going to pop another one up through that top. Okay. And that brings some of the front design to the inside of your card. So I'll just pop that on with some Tombow. And as I said, Blackberry Bliss is one of my different colours. Instead of the traditional colours for Christmas, I like to change it up a little bit. And Blackberry Bliss has been my go-to for a few years because I just think the gold embossing, silver embossing looks beautiful on it as well. So if you're more a silver person, the silver will still look quite nice as well. Okay, so now in that beautiful Christmas time is here sweet, we have these gorgeous gold glitter enamel dots. And you know what? They had me. When they said in this suite that we had these beautiful glimmer dots, I was like, oh, they're super, super cute. I need them. Okay, so I'm going to use my putty end, and I'm just going to one of those little dots and pop it into the snowflake there. And we've got another one down here, so we'll pop it into there. And on the front, I think I want to scatter just a few around just to give a little bit more bling. Oh, that one doesn't want to pick up. Okay. Now remember, your putty end on your take your pick tool is wonderful for being able to pick up glitter enamel dots and things. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that quick video showing you how to use the Frosted Foliage bundle. So as you can see, a super cute, quick, beautiful card using that bundle. So anything that I have used today can be purchased through my online store. It will be in the show more box down below. And if this is the first time you've watched me, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, which is down in that right hand corner. Now there is a little bell notification right beside the subscribe button. If you click on that little bell notification, you will get notified every time I upload a video or every time I go live on YouTube. I do have a regular time slot here in Australia, 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I'm doing a live video, so if you wanted to catch me at 10 a.m. every Saturday morning, I will be bringing you some different crafting using some of our brand new products out of our new catalogue, and hopefully you can join me there. So thank you everyone, hopefully you enjoyed that, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.